right. Let's see. There we go. I should have set it up now. There we go. What's going on, guys? How are we doing today? I can't stay too long, but I figured it's been a while I've been here, like 2 days or so, right? So I figured I'd come say hi. What's going on? How we doing? Good evening, good sir. How you doing, man? You're at the gym? Bet. I like to hear that. Just listen to the sound of my voice while you lift heavy weights, run long distances, and contort your body into weird, punishable shapes. But how we doing, though, guys? What's going on with us? It's Kofi Kingston? What's good? Yeah, it is Kofi Kingston. How we doing? What's the name of that finisher of his? Why am I thinking Twist of Fate? Twist of Fate is the one from the top rope for Ed Hardy, right? What was Kofi Kingston? It was that one where he goes like, what's the name of it? I forget the name. I kind of feel goofy now. Because I should know this. And he does like a massive roundhouse kick. I forget what it is. If anyone can remind me, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, you guys know what I'm here for. I'm the guy you come to ask all things game related. You got a girl that's giving you trouble, I'm your guy. Whether that girl is in your life already, a girl you're trying to get in your life, a girl you barely know and you want to talk to, ask away. Think of me like a genie that happens to be a pimp. Let's see. Being told I'm mean by a couple of girls, but it seems like they stay. It's a good long-term strategy. Yes, pretty much. Women trust men that have the ability to be honest with them. That's what they say. That's what they mean when they say that you're mean, right? They're saying mean, but what they really mean is you're honest. You know, you're authentic. You don't mind or don't care about the consequences of offending them. So they enjoy that. They do. They don't like how it feels in the beginning, but they do come to appreciate it as time goes. Can you be too humble? Like when a girl glances or stares at me, I don't think anything of it. That has nothing to do with humility, though. That's just you probably not reading social cues correctly. That's probably also you being too scared to take advantage of an opportunity when you see it. You might have to work on your killer instincts. But that has nothing to do with humility. If you mean humility like oh, I don't want to think that she likes me, I don't want to assume that she likes me, then I guess, yeah, you could call it too humble, but again, that's not really a humility thing. That's more of a fear thing. You're scared of the success. So how about next time that happens, assume she likes you and act on it and see what happens. That's how opportunities are, created and utilized. Keep that in mind. We chilling. I'm approaching a lot of older women, but they all say I'm too young. Will the interview help with that? Yes, it will, but understand, no matter what woman you deal with, there will be some kind of resistance. If you haven't already seen my video on YouTube, The Laws of the Game, go consult that. That's where I talk about one of the laws of the game being that resistance is inevitable. It just happens to be that when you're dealing with older women, the obvious point of resistance is the age difference, right? Just like when you're dealing with taller women, or if you're not as tall a guy and you're dealing with a chick that's taller than you, obviously she's gonna point out the height difference. If you're dealing with a richer chick, obviously she's gonna point out the financial difference. Like, that's what'll naturally happen when there's a massive obvious discrepancy, and you're gonna have to, you know, take that into consideration and come up with ways to pass those shit tests. If you're dealing with an older woman and she goes, "You're too young for me," the best way to deal with it, and by the way, this is the best way to deal with any type of resistance women give you, is to flip it on her to make it look like, one, she's the one rejecting herself, and two, you're okay with it. Like, you're okay with whatever discrepancy there is. So whenever older women are like, you're too young for me, you're a baby, that's when you'll get when you're, you know, a lot younger. All you got to do is be like, oh, it's fine, you don't got to talk like that. I'm used to dealing with women your age anyway, it's fine. I don't think of you as too old for me. You're right up my cutoff. I'll be honest with you, if you're like 5 years older, I'd probably not consider this, but you know what, you're right where I need you to be. That's fine. Just say it like that with confidence. Oh, there's someone doing donuts in the park behind me. Clean, not gonna lie, them shits look good. But anyway, that's naturally gonna happen. You know, when you have that discrepancy, all you got to do is just say with confidence, like, oh, that discrepancy, I don't mind it. It's something I'm used to. It's okay. And then just go from there. Oh, I actually have an entire video series about it if you want to check it out on YouTube. It's called, I forget what I call it particularly, but I know it's about shit tests. So go on YouTube, type in my name, Jace the Pickup Scientist. Right after, type in shit test. Oh, now I'm smelling the burnt rubber of the tires. Type in shit test, and then afterwards, or something like, type in the word resistance or crossing resistance, something like that. Then you should be able to see all the videos pertaining to that. It's an entire series. It's pretty good. Hello, can you stay a bit longer today? 2 more hours. I'm gonna get break after 2 hours from now. Probably not. I'm gonna be gone before then, but you'll catch me on the next one. It's fine, baby. It's all good. Don't waste time with relationships. Focus on your paper, boys. It's a better investment. That's a terrible advice on every level. It's terrible. And I'll tell you why. I think I've said this like a billion times before. But let me explain to you why you can't completely neglect one area of your life. And by the way, this isn't just for relationships. This is for every area of your life. Don't neglect your physical fitness and be like, focus on money. Now you die of fucking cancer. Don't neglect your earthly relationships, because guess what? The whole point of you making money is to enrich and make your relationships better anyway. The whole point of human existence is the cooperation and compliance you get from other people. That it's other people that make life worth living. If you were the only man on earth, your money would be useless, because then who would you exchange the money for goods and services and experiences with? Duh. So whenever you hyper focus on one area of your life and completely ignore the others, you will suffer in the end. It's not even a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Right? So don't completely neglect any part of your life. That's just stupid. That's a dumb piece of advice. Focus on money and forget about relationships. Do you know how many people have followed that advice and have lost both their money and relationships because of that? Like, come on. What other area of life is ignoring one aspect, or practicing one aspect a good thing? Imagine I told you, if you want to get good at basketball, all you have to do is completely ignore going to the gym. Like, never shoot another basketball a day in your life. Anytime you see a basketball court, run in the opposite direction. You'll get better at basketball. They're like, come on, let's use our common sense here. Everything needs to be practiced, and practiced well, and practiced good, and some things in more moderation than others. But you don't get better at anything without practicing. I'm sorry. Just like money, just like fitness, just like relationships and women, you need to practice. And if you're smart and you know how to manage your time, you will practice all of them simultaneously at the same time. Now, if you want to get into an imbalance, like you practice one of these more than the others, that's cool too. But to act like you completely ignore one and to forsake the other, like, you're gonna pay for that later. You're definitely gonna pay for that later. You feel me? Thank you. No problem, Mello. my girl wants to use a location off for both of us. Do I just say no? Absolutely. You completely say no. I always tell you guys, whenever your woman, like, when a girl likes you, when a girl loves you, when she's obsessed with you, her natural next step is to try to incorporate herself into your life, right? They're going to find ways to make themselves more useful to you. They're going to find ways to do more for you and just encroach more on your time and attention. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. Your job is to control the pace of that, not to completely discourage that. Like, you want her to do that, obviously, and you want to encourage that. In fact, you want to reward her for that, level of focus and prioritization. But you never want it to get to the point where she feels like she has complete control over you, because that takes away your predictability. And if you take away your predictability, you take away your excitement and your sex appeal. What makes relationships fun is not knowing what's going to happen next. It's like watching a soap opera, right? That's an analogy I give all the time. You want to know the best soap operas in the world, what they all have in common, the best soap operas and movies and blah, blah, is that whenever you get to the end of the episode, something happens that makes you curious to want to watch the next episode. And it's designed that way on purpose. It's designed to take up your urgency to watch the next episode, your curiosity, the mystery goes up, the excitement, the unpredictability goes up. Some kind of conflict comes up where it needs to be resolved by you watching the next episode. The same thing happens in relationships. A lot of relationships die, and I would say honestly most relationships end up dying because of this very thing. They allow things to happen in a relationship that kills any chance of predictability or unpredictability, or excitement, right? They kill any chance of their girl wondering about them, wondering what he's up to, where he is, who he's with, what he's doing. If your girl always knows where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, she can just tick up her phone and just check where you are, she's not going to even have respect for you. Like, why would you give her that power? You just made it easier for her to cheat on you. Why would you why would you do that? That's stupid. That's dumb. What you should do is give her the chance to miss you. Give her the chance to wonder about you, to worry about you, to be driven crazy at the thought of you probably in the arms of another woman, especially for those of you in monogamous relationships, right? You want to give her the chance to mentally compete with women that might not even exist, right? So keep that in mind. Just tell her no. I want to share a location with you. No, I want to miss you. I want you to have a chance to miss me, and I want to have a chance to miss you in return. So no, we're not sharing a location. Literally say that. And then she tries to make it a bigger deal than that, and like, oh, you're just trying to say that to cheat on me, or whatever. Then you just go, listen, you're being paranoid. Don't worry about that. I love you. Mwah, kiss her on the forehead. Bounce. Let her miss you. It's so easy to make excuses in your mind to not approach or convince yourself you do it next time. For real, it's very easy, especially when you're scared of it. And that's another thing a lot of men do, right? A lot of men are genuinely scared of progress or change or doing something new that they're unfamiliar with, and then they try to find ways to convince themselves it's not fear, it's something else, right? Oh, I'm not scared to approach her. I'm just really aware that she might be having something going on in her day and I don't want to encroach on that. Oh, I'm not scared of approaching her. She might have a boyfriend. I don't want to be disrespectful towards someone else's relationship, or any other goofy excuse they come up with. And it's just like, yo, you're just scared, man. Just be okay with admitting it. You're scared. It's okay. Now that you know you're scared, move accordingly. But what if she has a boyfriend? Who cares? Approach. Find out. Who knows? She might like you better than the boyfriend. Go from there. You feel me? Majestic at camera quality. Is he spitting chat? That's funny. But thanks. I appreciate the compliment on the camera quality. And the son being a paid actor, obviously. Hey, what's going on, Fish Army? I think I'm my first mod today. When you go to a bar alone, do you also talk to other guys or only talk to girls? It depends on the set. If there's a guy in the set, I will make friends with the guy, and I will completely... There's a way to make friends with other guys that makes you look like a leader. And that's something, I kind of discussed a little bit in the interview light. But there's a way to talk to other guys, and it's all part of game, by the way. You should game girls the same way you game guys. You should neg, you should tease, all that good stuff. It's just the difference between guys and girls is the lack of sexual tension in the air, right? Well, if you swing that way, do you, right? It's 2024, whatever. But if you want to get girls and you just want to game guys to look better in front of the girls, then, bust the guy's balls a little bit. Pause. put him on his toes, keep him in his mind, make him feel like he has to answer to you on some level, make him feel like he has to qualify himself to you. Whenever girls watch a guy qualify themselves to you, it makes you look like the fucking baller. It makes you look like the leader. So it's just something to keep in mind. What's up, Jay? How you doing, Barnes? How you doing? Hey, is that Q-Ball? Q-Ball, what happened to your name? You just disappeared? Name disappeared now? I'm an imbalanced type of guy. Fair enough. Imbalance it is. What are you trying to focus on the most right now? First mod, I think. I think so. You and Q-Ball. Let's see. Always first. I don't know about always, but you're first. I appreciate that. Do you have a girl? I have several. Yeah. What's the topic? Relationships and girls and dating and all that crazy stuff. What's up, Jace? Just watch your live stream with Locario. Y'all should do more videos together. We should, for sure. Shout out to Mr. Locario. He's dope, man. He's fucking dope. I'm still very appreciative of that opportunity. That was pretty cool. And yeah, for sure, we should. He has a really busy schedule. Whenever he's ready to do another one, he'll just hit me up and I'll figure out a way to squeeze in time and shit. You know what I mean? Someone stole your name? How is that possible? Is that even? Can it happen that fast? Like you steal your name on TikTok? Wow, didn't know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing. Are you Yoruba or Igbo? Technically neither. Technically neither. I have an Igbo native name, and then the rest of them are Edo, and then my first and last name are Greek. So yeah, I'm a quite interesting mix of different tribes, but yeah. I grew up in Lagos, by the way, so I grew up on Yoruba soil. I probably speak more fluent Yoruba than my actual, not probably, I definitely speak more fluent Yoruba than my native language, so yeah. Well, fluent is a strong word, but I grew up in Lagos, so Yoruba is like, you're gonna speak Yoruba wherever you go, as long as you're in Lagos, Already called the gang. Appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like a lot of them won't be here because the time difference is crazy for a lot of the mods. I know a lot of the mods live in Europe, so they're 8 hours ahead, so it's like 2-3 a.m. over there right now. Type shit. But yeah, you guys let me know what else you guys want to know. You can talk about anything really. It doesn't have to be game related. It can be, just world knowledge stuff. Not to brag, but I know a lot about a lot, so I can keep up in almost any conversation. Let's see. Did you say J. Cole? What's up, J. Cole? Is that racist? Are you calling me J. Cole because I have dreads? You think every black guy with dreads is J. Cole? Is that what that's about? Or did you type out Jace, but autocorrect somehow corrected it to J. Cole? Is that what happened? Which is it? I must know. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Self-improvement? Cool. Let's talk about self-improvement. What do you guys want to know? I actually have a video talking about fitness coming out soon on my... I'm probably going to post it on my story instead of my main, but... I figured out the secrets to a strong core. 6-pack abs, especially for those of you that are fighters that want to improve your core strength and be able to absorb punches better. I think I got some for y'all. God, it's an obvious thing. It's not even a secret, but I want to talk about it. So, video coming out soon. Bro, don't do me like that. Alright, fine. But you don't do me like that. You gonna call me J. Cole? Are you serious? That man just put out a song called Grippy. Terrible. Kendrick on top. What's good, bro? How you doing, Cass? What's going on? Your series on play-by-play from getting her number to meeting the bedroom and all that stuff, that's what the interview light is. That's what the course is for. That's literally what the entire course is about. It's an entire play-by-play. How to get a girl into your life, incorporate it into your life, increase your emotional relevance to her, increase the sexual tension, meet her up on a date, use that date to consummate the affair, and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's what the entire course is for. I'm trying to get back in the flow of things in the bar, but I lost my flow. Probably shows it because you're trying to force it. If your swag is off, your swag is off. You can't force that shit. You got to give yourself time to heal, time to breathe. You know what I mean? You can't just go from 0 to 60 like... That's a mistake I used to make a lot when I was growing up. Like, I'm not still a growing young man. I just turned 29. But when your swag is off, when especially this is what happened to you, especially after a breakup, a major loss with a woman that's special to you, and especially if they dump you, right? When that happens, your swag is off. You've just gone through just about the worst kind of rejection you can go through as a man at the hands of a woman. Because it's one thing to have a woman that you just met just not want to see you anymore. That's one thing. But if it's a girl you were with for a while and she now rejects you, or even worse, chooses up on another guy, it's a big blow to your ego. There's an ego death that happens there, and you have to give yourself a little bit of a time to heal, right? Especially when you know, like, the other guy's just, he's killing it compared to you, and you just can't seem to execute on his level. It's fine. Fall back. Give yourself time to heal. Get back in the flow of things, and be okay with going through those newbie beginner mistakes, because you essentially are a newbie again. It's okay. Give yourself time to breathe. You feel me? How to handle when outside parties influence your girl. That is an inconvenience to you. The real best way to handle it is to become the ultimate influence to her. You'll know you have a girl completely when she's now thinking your thoughts. When she's thinking about things the way you do, when she's talking like you, sounding like you, moving like you, I just had a very interesting argument with one of my girls, and I was kind of proud in the moment because I realized she was using my techniques against me in the argument. So even though we're in a disagreement, we're not seeing eye to eye on something, she's still sounding just like me. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah. But yeah, that's what you really need to do. If you want to win your girl's mind over anything and anyone else's, you want her to become you. Right? So that's the real bit of advice. Everything else is secondary in terms of, like, beginning to sow a seed of doubt in her mind to not listen to other people, beginning to point out how incompetent those other people are so you look better in comparison. All those tiny things will work when you've actually become a man of consequence to her. So I would say the most important thing to do is to make her obsessed with you. First, the most important thing. I have a series on YouTube that kind of discusses that a little bit. It's called Imprinting 101. So go on YouTube, type in Jace the Pickup Scientist, Imprinting 101. That's IMPRINT. What am I saying? IMPRINTING. So yeah, 101. Yeah. So go there. Go from there. You should be fine. How do we gain your knowledge? Seems like you've lived longer than 28 years. You're right. I have. I'm 29 years old now, as of 2 weeks ago. But seriously though, I've been doing this for like 11 years, damn near. Like, it's literally a couple weeks from now, and it's gonna be 11 years on the dot since I discovered and started practicing game. So don't do too much comparing yourself to me. I have a lot of fucking hours in this shit. With that said though, if you want to get good very quickly, that's what my entire channel is for. That's what my resources are for. All that good stuff. And all that is a roadmap for you to practice more intelligently. So you know what you're looking out for, you know what you're doing, and you know not to waste your time on certain other unnecessary things. So you're not beating around the bush unnecessarily. But yeah, for the most part, it comes down to the way you practice and how intelligent you practice and how often you practice. That's how you get as good. It wasn't even bad. He can't have diversity. First of all, I think the word you're looking for is not diversity. It's more like, variety. And I understand that argument. But the problem with it is that what he's doing now, and by the way, we're talking about J. Cole and his grippy thing. The problem with that is it's going against his brand. It's going against what he talks about as a person, what he believes in as a person, how he moves, what he's been rapping about for literally the last 7 years. J. Cole, he's on that woke consciousness shit. What are we talking about grippy right now for? Now, if he wants to make that transition, that's one thing. But the transition has to be smoother than just one song to the other. It's not gonna work that like that. You know what I mean? There's been a few conscious rappers that have gone mainstream and then come back. There've been a few gospel rappers that have gone mainstream and all that good stuff. But the transition has to be smoother than that. It's not gonna happen in one song. You're not gonna give people whiplash and expect them to be okay with the transition. No. You feel me? Grippy? And it's not even a good song. Grippy? Nah. It's not good. Cause she grippy. That's funny. It's called The Interview Light. The Interview Light, link in bio. Go to my personal dating system. You'll see it there. I analyzed my last few dates and I realized all of them failed because they imploded because of too much tension. How can I fix that, sir? Give a little more comfort. That's fine. I'm happy. Like, so you analyzed them and you found out what the problem was. Perfect. Now, just go in the opposite direction. Instead of giving too much comfort, give a little more. Instead of giving too much tension, give a little more comfort. So think about it like this. Tension is direct opposite to comfort. So anything that you do to build tension, you reduce comfort. Anything you do to build comfort, you reduce tension. Think about it like inversely proportional to each other. It's like on a balancing scale, right? So whenever you feel like you're giving too much tension, just do more comfort building stuff. Make her feel more comfortable around you. Give her a few more compliments than usual. Make her feel a little more assured of the relationship you're having with her, even though it's in the beginning stages, right? Give her a little bit of assurance into the future, and you should be good, you know. Incorporate some stuff into your language, like, you know what? I've been talking to you so far, and you seem like you would make really good girlfriend material. Say stuff like that. That should naturally make her feel, oh, okay, he's thinking about that at least. So it'll make her calm down and begin to think about you into the future. Let's see. When you have a son, when are you going to start teaching him the ways of game? Like, as soon as he can start talking. Because the sooner you learn this shit, the better. Here's how my sons are going to be. They're not going to learn game, right? The rest of us had to learn game because we had to unlearn it because of society. But if you look at the progression of a child and how they even interact with young girls, right? Young boys as young as 4 or 5 years old interacting with young girls, they already to some degree understand some of the principles of game. They don't know how to execute it correctly and they don't have enough of a opportunity to practice it correctly. But they already understand the principles. Like, remember when you were a kid, right? And maybe you liked a girl, or maybe one of your friends liked a girl. You would almost do everything in your power to not let your friends know you like that girl. Why? Because you knew, one, your friends will tease you for it, but two, it was almost like a biological, confirmation in your head that if she knew you liked her first, something bad would happen. You weren't even old enough to know what the bad thing was, outside of just your friends teasing you. But there was something in you that let you know, I shouldn't let her know that I have too much interest in her too soon. That's game. That's right there. That's a fundamental law of game. And you knew that without anyone teaching you. Here's something else you probably did. You probably went out of your way to, like, give her a hard time or tease her, right? You punched her in the arm, you pushed her off the slide. She took that to mean you didn't like her, and she probably hated you for it. You were probably her bully, who knows? But in a way, that was you trying to be like, I like you, I want to spend time with you. I just know I can't do it by telling you I like you, I want to spend time with you, because then you'll think I'm a creep, I'm weird. Again, that's poor execution. Don't push bitches off the slide, right? But I'm saying the idea is already there. You know deep down, I have to find a way to use leverage to get her to give me attention. You just don't know at that age how to properly do it in a smooth, charismatic way. I mean, obviously you don't. You're like fucking 5 years old. But the point I'm trying to make is, kids know game, like at least some degree of it. So what I'll do with my sons is really just give them the chance to practice the game they already naturally know, and never give them any opportunity to unlearn it. I will never teach my sons how to interact with the opposite sex the same way we were taught, which is to revere and fear them and to distance ourselves from them, right? Whether you realize it or not, that's how we were all taught to deal with women. And that's why we all started out sucking with them, because we were stripped of the opportunity to really understand the creature in front of us. Especially those of you that, were shipped off of boarding school or juvenile detention or whatever the fuck. other kind of situation where you weren't allowed to interact with women often, a lot of you are fucking socially deficient because of those experiences you had, right? So you want to, if you're raising sons, to leave them in an opportunity in the environment where they can really understand women almost on a seamless level without having to, you know, formally teach them in a classroom setting or anything like that. By the time my kids are like 16, 17, 18, they would have already completely internalized principles in the game that they don't even know the words for, right? Like they would have understood how to create tension with a woman without even knowing that it's called tension. Does that make sense? That's what it'll look like with my kids. There's a double-edged sword to that, obviously. One, it kind of makes them bad at teaching the game, so they probably won't be as good at teaching the game as I am. I'll probably like make sure at least 1 or 2 in there carry on the legacy, because someone's got to do this. But 2, you know, the other part to it is that it'll be natural for them. They'll be true examples of good naturals. They'll be like clueless as to why they're so good with women, but just be good with women. That's how it'll look like. You feel me? Well, bro, it's hard to find the swag. Can't find a style that suits me. Experiment. It's not that you can't find one. You just haven't started experimenting. If you're experimenting, you'll figure out very quickly, you know, what your thing is. Start with what you like, though. Don't do too much of, you know, doing what's in trend or what's in vogue right now. Start with what you like. Hey, Asami, what's going on? I've been graphing hard lately. Been getting so much jobs, getting my back. That's very good. Well done. My theory is if you pay attention and stay consistent, you get whatever you want out of life. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. Pay attention, stay consistent, move intelligently. You know, consistency is amazing, but only if you're doing it to evolve. If you're doing it to evolve on purpose, you'll be good. Right? I was talking to someone about this recently. You can post 3 times a day, every day on TikTok and still not blow up, because it's not about how many times you're posting that really matters. It's the fact that with each time you post, you're getting better, right? And if you guys, you know, for those of you that have been watching me for a long time, I'm sure you can see I've fucking gotten better. So, yeah, it's about how intelligently you practice. You feel me? But I realize this life isn't for me. I'm not a blue-collar worker. It isn't for me. Fair enough. You don't like blue-collar. To be fair, I don't think anyone does. It's a very special kind of mind that is okay with like the level of competition or the kind of competition that is blue collar. You know, I don't like blue collar competition because it's all indirection and underhanded. It's a bunch of provider types doing provider type shit, trying to be alpha over each other. I prefer shit that's more confrontational, like fighting. Just get in the cage and beat someone's ass, or get your ass beat. You know, it's more direct, it's more confrontational. That's the kind of competition I like. But yeah, figure it out, man. If you don't like that, go ahead. Go do something else. Don't ever spend a second doing something you don't like. You genuinely don't feel good in your spirit doing. You feel me? The interview light has been a life changer. I designed it to be that way. Congratulations. Make sure you go over it more than once. Very important. Make sure you go over it more than once. But running game at my job, by the way, waiter job at weddings, I found a sick pickup line. Sorry, I read that incorrectly. You look like the one getting dressed. You look like the one getting dressed. Huh. My success rate with it went through the roof. Did it now? But I want to know your opinion on it. Do you think the reason me getting so much success with it is because I'm hitting only a certain criteria of women like 7s and 8s? And also pre-selection is a real thing. I ran so much game, bad bitches were waiting for me to approach their table to serve them. And 5 and 6 girls wanted attention so bad they were helping me in my work. That's very good. You look like the one getting married. Oh, okay, I see. I was wondering, like, getting dressed? What are we talking about? You look like the one getting married is a very good line to use, yeah. It's essentially a compliment. It's an outright direct compliment, though. So, it's pretty much only working, I would say, because of the pre-selection and probably just your charisma, you know. Plus, you can kind of get away with more direct stuff like that in weddings, because women are, like, weddings are places where women are essentially looking to get rizzed up, you know. Everyone wants to feel the love tonight when it comes to weddings. So, it kind of makes sense. Don't count on that working anywhere else, though. Although, it probably won't work anywhere else anyway, because weddings are the only place that kind of line would work in. Right, as far as the context goes, like you're the one getting married, so yeah. But yeah, if you're getting success from it, go for it, man. Go for it. Argo, how long have you been on here? Literally 20 minutes, guys. 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, how you doing, Profilo? What's going on? So I'm almost confused during the comfort building stage. Okay, what you confused about? Let me know. Let me know. Bro, better to start cool and collected or spike her energy, negative or positive, compliment or insult. I think you're seeing both things as different. I really don't. Cool and collected is the energy and the attitude you carry. The emotions you make her feel is the technique you're firing, right? Good morning, Jace. I just woke up between my sleep. Oh, bad. How you doing, Ryu? I was just saying that too. You're probably like in the early hours of the morning over there. Sorry for waking you up, but you know, stick around. Back to what I was saying. Cool, calm, and collected. Don't confuse cool, calm, and collected with, you know, a lack of tension in the conversation. You can be cool, calm, and collected and still spike up the tension in the conversation in terms of like the emotion you want her to feel, positive or negative. You feel me? You can say in a very cool, calm, collected, charismatic manner, you look like you should have wider teeth than that. You're a pretty girl, but I feel like your teeth should be wider than that. That's, again, it spikes up the, you know, you're almost teetering on the line of insult almost, right? But at the same time, you're still generally calm about it. So it's not that they're two different things. It's just the energy you carry versus the actual thing you're doing. You feel me? By the way, the call is still on tomorrow. It should be. I should be able to make it, yeah. I got some calls in between that, but yeah, I should be able to make it. I can't stay long though. I think like 30 minutes, an hour, but we should be able to do it. Let's see. How do you run that stage and what's the goal of the comfort stage? You've gotten way better, but man, I love the style of the old videos. They had such a mysterious vibe. Fair enough. But yeah, back to your major question. How do you build a comfort stage? So think about it like this. When a woman now thinks you're cool, when a woman has bought into your frame, the only thing you should do from there is make her feel like she has a chance with you. Because here's the thing. If you show up to a woman, right, and in her mind, you are the bee's knees. You are the sun and the moon. You are the best thing she's ever come across. You are the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity she's been waiting for. Now, doubt begins to seep into her mind. And she begins to doubt her ability to bag you. Because this will happen. And this is something that happens more to women than to men. Women give up on themselves a lot sooner than men do. Because usually, on average, they don't have as high a self-esteem. It's men that are crazy enough to have the arrogance to believe that they can be a 4 and get with a 10. And it'll actually work because, again, as long as the energy and the confidence is there, you'll actually pull. But women are a lot more conditional in their head around how that works. So if they feel like the guy is too much better, they give up. The comfort stage is essentially you going, I know I'm cool, I know I'm better than you, and I know you've also accepted that I'm better than you, right? It's them also accepting the frame of it, right? I know all these things look like I really don't have any business talking to a girl like you, but you know what? I'll take a chance on you. Tell me about yourself. That's what the comfort stage is. Did I miss a call, guys? No, you didn't miss a call. But that's what the comfort stage is. That's essentially what it is. It's making her feel like she has a chance with you. How do you do that? By giving her parts of yourself that, you know, she wouldn't usually get from someone in your position, right? It's telling her things about yourself that make you seem more authentic and vulnerable. It's being interested in her past, just the surface level things, and asking her, you know, questions, open-ended questions that make you seem more curious about her. It's going out of your way to have just a regular mundane conversation that you would have with like a coworker or a friend or a family member, right? That's how you build the comfort stage. It makes yourself seem more real to her. Think about it like this. Think about how Superman would have to talk to Lois Lane to make her not be so scared of him anymore, right? He's Superman. He's this big, powerful alien creature that can do pretty much anything. How would he have to talk to Lois Lane to make her feel like, you know what, this guy can be, you know, someone I can see being in my life long term? He would have to tell her stories about how he grew up in Smallville. You see that? If he went, oh, Krypton is my planet, and we have way more advanced technology, and we can do everything better than you. I can fly. I can shoot lasers out of my eyes. She'd be like, oh, too scary, too much. But if he goes, oh, by the way, I was adopted by 2 human parents. I grew up in Kansas. I know what it's like to work on the field all day and harvest corn until your hands bleed. And it's crazy to say that because I can't even bleed. And, you know, just talking about himself in a very down-to-earth way. That's how you build comfort with women. Okay? All right. Is it better, okay to, I don't know if you worded that right, but I'll try to read it my best. Is it better to, I'm going to ignore that okay. Is it better to date or show interest to an ugly chick at workplace to have some experience? If you're asking me if you can use that ugly chick at your workplace to get practice in, if she's butt-fuck ugly, don't do it. Please do not do it. Because you're not practicing anything. You know, the amount of anxiety you'll have in front of an ugly chick is not the same as the one you'll have in front of a chick that you genuinely see as valuable to you. That's one. Secondly, it doesn't benefit you anything long term. So don't do that, right? That it kills your self-esteem anyway. Damn, did you guys get better? Your questions are getting more evolved. I know, right? You're noticing that too. I'm happy about that. And that also means they're practicing. That's what I really like about it. That means they're actually considering like the game, the theory, and some of them are actually going out of their way to practice. That's good. That's good. But yeah, I'm not giving you permission to talk to that ugly chick at work. Talk to the hot chick in the next aisle over at the Target you visit the most. Oh yeah, I read that one. Let's see. How to remove the good best male friend from her circle, like remove him forever. Again, you gotta be the most important male in her life first. Then you gotta ruin the friendship in her mind and let her know, oh, you know that guy wants to fuck you, right? Because here's the thing, women aren't stupid. Women are not stupid, but they would like to be gullible around it. A woman knows deep down, if you really dig into her, that every male friend in her life will hit if she offered it. But they also want to live in this weird matrix world where the guy truly likes her because she has an amazing personality, not because she has a pretty face and a sexy body, right? Your job is to ruin that dream, right? Go ahead, pop that bubble for her, let her know, oh yeah, you know he's trying to fuck you, right? You know that's what's going on, right? That's the first step. Second step is to let her know that you have no respect for any woman that needs that constant supply of cheap validation. When you have those two things coming together, they get rid of the male friends quite easily. Just naturally, they get rid of them. Let's see. You're not nice, you're weak. That hit different back then, not gonna lie. I'm happy it did. And that was what, my first video? That was literally my first video. My very first video. I was like, you're not nice. You're weak. Which is still something a lot of men need to, you know, understand. They tell them, oh, I'm a nice guy. You're not nice. You're a pussy. You're a pussy that's scared to be mean, that's scared to be controversial, that's scared to offend women. Once you let go of your need to not offend women, once you get over your fear of offending women, you can't stop getting girls. You begin to become like the guy rejecting them, because like the honesty is so refreshing, especially for the hottest women. The honesty isn't cool for women below like a 7, 6, 5. Those women, they don't want honesty. They want to be lied to. But hot chicks love honesty because everyone likes the hot chicks. You see? So you set yourself apart instantly when you're willing to be the one person in their life that's gonna be honest and be like, hey, listen, you're not as funny as you think you are. You're not. Your personality isn't that great either, and it's not your fault. You're a hot girl, man. You haven't had enough practice. You haven't had enough opportunity to practice having a good personality because you've coasted on your looks. But honestly, you're not as good as you think you are. But don't worry. Now that I'm here, you're gonna be the best bitch you can be. You know, if you can't tell, I'll have to make that speech more than once in my life. I want to start practicing game, but social anxiety is ruining my life. Brute force through it, man. Like, do you want to die alone or not? There's many ways to motivate yourself to get over your social anxiety. many different ways. You can remind yourself that the alternative is loneliness. You can force yourself to do something that pushes you in the right direction. You can also, oh hey Cosmin, thanks for the heart. That's gonna come up soon, I think. Yay, I love hearts. You can also, what was I gonna say just now before the heart came? Oh yeah, before the heart came. You can, inside joke, sorry. You can also create situations and environments and opportunities for you to have no choice but to approach women. To put yourself out there. You can begin to put yourself out there aggressively. There's many different ways. But ultimately it comes down to exposure therapy. Right? Exposure therapy is the way to go about doing it. You have to force yourself to be out there. What modifications would make it better? Make what better exactly? I can't remember what we were talking about. Can't remember. What modifications can I do to make the pickup line you like? You look like you're getting married. I mean, you can use it strictly in wedding situations. If you wanted to use it outside of weddings, it wouldn't work. So there wouldn't really be any modifications. If you're talking about modifications within the wedding space, like you want to make it better, say something along the lines of like a pull before you say that part, or a push after you say that part, right? It's either say a push before or after that part. I'm confusing pull and push. A push. You need something negative, either before or after saying that, right? Something like you look like you're the one that's getting married today, but I don't know why you have any business drinking that, and then make fun of her for whatever drink she has in her hand. Or, you would look like the one getting married today if, and then pick out something in her outfit or something she's doing that's, humorous or funny that you can, point at. I would confuse you for the one getting married today if you weren't standing in this corner by yourself drinking something by yourself. What's going on here? Why you giving off lonely girl vibes? Put a push either before or after that, and it should be a solid line. It should be really solid. Let's see. Well, what's your story like? Did you have both parents growing up? Yes, I did. Not for all of it. My dad was away for 10 years between when I was 2 and 12, working in Europe, but then he came back. So I know what it's like to live and grow up in the formative years with your mother, and then I also know what it's like to have a father figure come back in and straighten you the fuck out. So I can empathize with the guys that didn't have a father figure growing up, because I know what that's like, But yeah, that's pretty much my story. Remember Megan Fox chick? You blocked her? What happened? Miss you so much, I'm edging to you right now. Edge away, my friend. No Diddy. No Drizzy. At this point, shit. Was doing my best to give her some more comfort. After a couple days, no talking, I hit her up on IG. She blocks me. On TikTok too. Then I text her trying to figure this shit out. She keeps being low self-esteem, bro. Only after my intimate call with her, she's in the right mindset. So pretty much, I pulled together one last comforting effort, and she only replied to the one slightly negative part. Couldn't be more low self-esteem, 101. Yeah, that makes sense. So then I blocked her. She might be a 10, but it gets on my nerves too much. See? Now you're getting it. Now you understand my frustration. All right, we're talking about... I hate to bring this up, but this is what I'm talking about when I talk about dating most beautiful black women. Like, there's a very few black women I can actually get along with because they have high self-esteem. The majority of black women, I can't... Like, you don't understand the frustration of giving a woman a heartfelt compliment and she finds a way to make that a bad thing. Ain't nobody got time for that, bro. I don't got time for that. I cannot do that. It gets in the way of everything. And then now you're realizing now you have to do even more work, to keep the relationship going. Because she's looking for an excuse to self-sabotage. She's looking for a way to make what you did, no matter how good, a bad thing. She's looking for a way to make you the villain. So now you got to give her even more assurances and more reassurances and more comfort. And, fuck that. It gets too much. It's a liability, man. Get rid of those girls. Literally, bro, I gave her 5 straight compliments and 1 slight tease, and she couldn't take it. Exactly. See? When a woman's mind is inundated with nothing but negativity, that's all they're gonna see. You know, you guys, everyone, I highly suggest go and do your research on the reticular activation system. If you've ever had an ex that is convinced you're the bad guy, that is what they're suffering from. Is when their RAS is just focused on negativity, like, you know, the self-esteem just gets in the way. So that's why I say go and get girls with high self-esteem, man. It's not just about their looks. Their looks can be a good indication of their self-esteem, right? Because a woman's physiological health is usually directly correlated, directly meshed with her psychological state, right? So if she looks good in her body, she usually feels good in her mind. But you'll run into the occasional, oh, thanks for that, King Henry. By the way, shout out to King Henry. Whatchamacallit the messages that float up? Retag that one. I didn't see it. My bad, Fish Army. I'll get to it when you retag it. But yeah, it doesn't matter how good she looks. If she thinks lowly of herself, she'll find ways to self-sabotage, and that just becomes work for you, man. It's too much work. Too much fucking work. Anybody got time for that? I can confirm Megan Fox chick was a headache in terms of low confidence. For sure. Ridiculous. I'm guessing you saw the messages and it was like, anybody got time for that? But like on those calls prior to not talking to her, she saw me as good. As a good guy, you know? Yeah, she did. And then her mind completely changed because they're always going to be thinking about the worst case scenario. And it gets in the way, man. It gets tiring. It really does when you have a girl that's always constantly scared of the unforeseeable future and is always attaching negativity to it. It just, it gets tiring. Fuck that. Anyway, back to, oh yeah, I gotta scroll back down. Yeah, that's the problem with no new information. You expect the worst of the outcome. Yeah. Indeed. Gotta go. Then I text her trying to figure, oh yeah, I read all that. Should we still neg and tease during comfort? Maybe not harsh negs, but teases here and there. You know, pullbacks. Think about them like pullbacks. Like if she's telling you about herself, right? Maybe a story from her childhood. You're allowed to say something to tease her a little bit. Oh, I bet you were a rambunctious teenager, right? I bet you were a troublemaker when you were a kid. I bet you were that kid that was a picky eater. You can say things like that just from time to time, just to spice up the conversation, make her giggle, make her laugh, shit like that, you know. But nothing hard hitting, nothing crazy, no negs, you know. She's a lot of makeup. Jace, for real, I think it's low self-esteem. Even though she says she would marry herself, she admires herself. Self-image and self-esteem are connected, but they're not the same. You feel me? They are not the same thing. Just because you see yourself highly doesn't mean you believe in yourself. You know, keep that in mind. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Oh, how interesting. That's weird. Anyway, I explained a lot of why I feel during comfort and imploded. Yes, because you were probably just harshly negging the entire time, right? Yeah, just keep it simple. Don't do anything too harsh. I don't know if Asil already said this, but me and him neg girls like constantly. Nah, don't do that. Unnecessary. Don't overdo it. The negging and all that is only in the beginning stages. Once you get into the comfort stages, just light teasing here and there is more than enough. But for the most part, no harsh negs. You know? Let's see. More self-esteem. There we go. How to get out of the friend zone. I have an entire series on that on YouTube. Type in Jace the Pickup Scientist, friend zone. It should come up. It's an older one, so forgive me for the quality of the video. But the entire point of getting out of the friend zone is that you can get out the same way you walked in, right? You don't get into the friend zone by force. That's the crazy part. Like, and anytime a man talks about the friend zone like it's a prison, you know that the man is psychologically weak. Because here's the thing. Women don't take a gun to your head and go, you have to be my friend. That's not what happens. What happens is you indicate interest, she indicates disinterest, and your dumbass decides, I'm still gonna keep giving her my time and attention, even though I know that she's not interested in me back. I'm gonna keep giving her attention, even though she's indicated disinterest in me. That's not her fault. That's you putting yourself in a prison, right? What's the difference between negs and light teasing? I thought they were the same thing. No, they're not. I'll talk about that after I'm done with the friend zone thing. But yeah, you get into the friend zone because you accept the lesser position. So all you have to do to get out of the friend zone is just don't accept it anymore. Literally. Just be like, listen, this whole thing is stupid to me. You're not as good a friend as I thought you'd be anyway. And honestly, the only reason I was your friend is because I thought I could change your mind on being a romantic partner of mine. But I realize now that that's stupid and disingenuous of me. And I really am sorry for doing that. But now I gotta bounce. I think I can put my time and energy and effort into other girls that like me more. Peace. And then go. Get out. Get the fuck out. Bounce. Peace. Deuces. That's how I get out the friend zone. That is what happens. These poor girls we broke. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Oh, back to teasing and flirting. A tease is anything that you say that, you know, increases tension lightly. Anything that is a way of playing with her, a light bit of roasting her, making her feel just a little unsure of herself, making her feel like she has to qualify herself to you to some degree. A neg is more like a harsh statement that questions who she is and what she's about, right? Think about it like the difference between playing around and roasting your friend versus like challenging their identity. That is the difference between a tease and a neg. A tease is like, why'd you wear those Crocs today? You could have done better than that. That's a tease. A neg is like, honestly, I don't think it's hold on. I think it's very telling of you that you would wear something like that in public. That's a neg, right? It's a harsher thing, and it's almost like in line with an insult. Almost, it's like teetering on the edge of an insult without actually being an outright insult. Literally destroy them on accident. Yeah, you know better now. You know better now. Again, these are some of those things that I know that I forget you guys don't know, so I gotta remember. Don't worry, that's why the interview light upgrades are coming. Like the way I made the interview 2.0 is like I just asked myself a bunch of different small questions and I answered every fucking single one of them, even the dumbest ones, right? So it's gonna be very comprehensive. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. I'm being a bit of a perfectionist with the release of it, but you know, it's gonna answer all the fucking questions. I'm making the interview 2.0 the Google of game, you know, type shit. But anyway, those dumb questions are what we need for real, and I'm beginning to realize that more and more. Damn, did you guys get? Oh yeah, I remember that one. How to deal with approach anxiety. Oh, you keep approaching till the anxiety turns into excitement. Because here's the thing, I keep telling you guys, that feeling doesn't go away. That feeling of, oh, I'm about to approach a new girl doesn't go away. Even I get it till this day. And I've been doing this for over a decade. The difference though is now when I get that feeling, it's not something that paralyzes me. It's something that motivates me. I get energized when I see a beautiful girl on the street. I get energized when I see a sexy bitch just like looking at a product on the shelf. I'm like, ooh. I'll look in the aisle, like, ooh. I'll double back around and come approach her. Act like I'm looking for something there, and then boom, I'm in a conversation. When I feel that my heart beat, when I feel that, you know, his knees are weak, arms are sweaty, there's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. When I feel that, it doesn't go like, oh, maybe she has a boyfriend. I don't go into my head anymore. I go, ooh, I can't wait to know what her name is, right? It's a motivation thing, right? It's either you feel it as anxiety or you feel it as excitement. We tease and neg the life out the 8s and 9s. Oh no, you know better now though. You know better now. Exposure therapy, papi. Which is funny to say because you do look Hispanic, Rio. It's scary. The more I don't do it, the more demoralized I get, and that's how it works, right? I keep telling you guys too. This is something I think I saw a video of Locario say recently too. Shout out to Locario. But for a lot of you, especially when you haven't approached a woman in a while, you pretty much have to go with the law of overcompensation, right? There's fundamental law of game, the law of overcompensation. Go watch my YouTube video on the laws of the game. I also have it here on TikTok. It's an entire series. But basically, it's where I talk about how when you're in a deficit, you have to do even more to get out of it, right? If you're in a 2 feet hole, the amount of effort you need to get out of that hole is a lot less than if you were in a 20 feet hole. Does that make sense? So when you're in a deficit, you got to do even more to get out of it. Keep that in mind. I'm half Surinamese. Oh, really? That's probably why. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the less you approach, the more of a burden it begins to feel like to you. So the sooner you do it, the better, and the more you do it, the better. A lot of you just need to pick one night in the month, one night, and psych yourself out for maybe the last Saturday of that month, right? Psych yourself out for the 22 to 28 days prior to, and just decide to get rejected by every girl in the bar that night. Don't go for phone numbers, don't go for chats, don't go for, one night stands or anything like that. Just decide in yourself, I'm gonna talk my ears off to these girls until they fucking pour drinks in my face. And then here's what's gonna happen. No one's gonna pour a drink in your face. At the most, they just go, okay, bye now, and walk away from you. And then now you realize, oh, the worst that can happen is she really just does say no. Or at the most, she says something that's, around the area of no, without actually saying no. You have the most beautiful resting bitch face ever, Genghis Khan gang. That's funny. But yeah, just decide in yourself to get yourself out of your funk by just doing it over and over and over again without seeing any success. You feel me? Then when you've proved to yourself you can approach, get the interview light. Type shit, if you want to do it that way, or just get it. I mean, here's the thing: if you get the interview light, you're more equipped. You're more prepared for an approach. So, if you take a soldier to war and you go fight, and you don't give him training, you don't give him a roadmap of the terrain they're fighting in, you don't give him any weapons, how confident do you think he's going to be going into that war? Not as confident as the guy that is well trained, that is well equipped, that is well informed. That's what the interview light is. As someone who said the same thing, just get it, literally. For anyone that's already gotten the interview light, go ahead, tell them how good it is in the comments. Let them know. Because, they might be on the fence and shit. And I don't like people that are on the fence. Honestly, I would say if you are on the fence about getting it, just don't get it. That means you don't want to solve that problem bad enough. And that's okay. If you feel like it's not a problem that you have to deal with immediately, then that's fine. You don't have to get it. No one's putting a gun to your head. But if you really do want to solve it, why are you wasting time? There's no middle ground to this. It's not like, oh, you can get it it's like, if it is a problem you do want to solve, go the fuck on and get it, like right now. If you still feel like, it's not a problem, don't get it at all. Simple as that. They must love or hate themselves enough to get it, right? You're right. I feel so too. I feel so too. Let's see. Yeah, that was the first video. It was my first video where I was talking about you're not nice, you're just weak. Do your future self a favor and get the interview light. Indeed. By the way, I'm like literally physically sick for whatever reason. I always have this before a big breakthrough. That's good. If you notice a pattern between your health declining and something good happening to you, that's not a bad thing. The calm before the good storm. It's not a bad thing. What's going on, Cosme? Appreciate you for the heart. Is social anxiety real or an illusion? It's both. Here's how it works. Whatever you see in your mind's eye is real. So even if it's an illusion, it becomes real to you. Right? So if you create social anxiety in your head, then that becomes so real that it becomes a thing. Does that make sense? This is why I don't believe in, using medication to solve mental issues. Because mental issues are mental. You can't use physical or medical substances to solve a mental problem. It's all in the head. It's all in the mind. If at all there is like some kind of a weird chemical imbalance in the brain, then it still comes back down to why does your body feel like it's a good idea to over-secrete certain chemicals over others? What's going on there? What are you convincing your body of that it's feeling like it has to overproduce serotonin or overproduce dopamine or overproduce testosterone or overproduce estrogen or produce oxytocin or anything like that, you know? So it's all ultimately mental. Whatever you see and whatever you expect is whatever is real to you. Keep that in mind. Okay? Thanks again for the daily heart. A problem needs to be solved from a greater dimension than created. Very nice quote, by the way, Ryu. Very well done. Einstein, is it Einstein that said that? I didn't know that. But it's a very real thing. If you want to solve a 3D problem, you go to the 4D. If you want to solve a 2D problem, go to the 3D. You know, you don't even got to go several steps ahead. Just the one step ahead is all you need. You know, it's something I was talking about with my coach recently too. In fighting, the same thing happens. We're talking about the fight between Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland. And the moment I saw that fight, I knew exactly what happened with Izzy. And everyone was like, oh, Izzy was off. Izzy wasn't looking himself. It's like, no, Izzy looked perfectly fine. But he overthunk himself into a defeat. Right? You see this happen in chess too. Right? Where you have a really strong player lose to a regular or average novice or beginner. And it's like, how's that possible? How can someone with that much higher experience level lose to someone that has only been playing for like a year? Simple. Because when you're playing as someone that thinks 20 steps ahead against someone that only thinks 5 steps ahead, then you need to sacrifice the first 15 steps you think ahead to vulnerable positions that will allow Mr. 5 steps ahead to take advantage of you. And you're assuming, oh, I'm thinking 15 steps ahead, so they're probably thinking 20 steps ahead too, or something like that. But it's like, no, they're keeping it very simple. And because you're trying to be like Mr. like with Izzy, right? Izzy and Sean Strickland. I'm going to feint to the body. I'm going to feint with my hips. I'm going to feint to the head. Then I'm going to catch him to the body. Then I'm going to catch him to the head. And then Sean Strickland is just like, okay, cool. 1, 2 down the middle. Like a zombie. Right? And while you're feinting, boom, boom, you catch you to the face. Right? It's like overly complex thinking versus just simplistic, get the job done thinking. You know what I mean? That's all you need. Just one step ahead of whatever problem you're trying to solve. Don't overcomplicate it. Boom, you solve all the problems you have. This has to do a lot with the law of predictability. Yes, it's exactly what the law of predictability is like. If you over predict, you fuck yourself over. You know, if you overestimating your opponent is just as bad as underestimating your opponent. It's just as bad. Don't let anyone fool you. Just as bad, because now you over prepare, and then you think too highly of your opponent, and then you think, oh, I can't, like in jiu-jitsu, right? I can't go for a double leg takedown. They know how to sprawl. And it's like, what if they don't know how to sprawl? You don't know that. Just test it. You know, shitty example, but you get the point. Anyway, how to create a plot when approaching, like Todd V said. When I like when he talks about a plot or narrative. Shout out to Todd V, by the way. But the plot is created when you set the frame. You know, I call it the narrative. Well, he calls it the narrative from time to time too. But the narrative is what you're really trying to do. You're trying to create the narrative, and the narrative always has to surround you and her attraction towards you. But that's what I'm saying though. It comes down to how you set the frame. If you set the frame as, oh, don't touch me. Hey, listen, I know I'm a sexy guy, but you can't be talking to me like that. You can't be touching me like that. You're gonna naturally set the frame of she's the one chasing you, and that becomes a new plot. That becomes a new narrative, and then you get to change the story up however you want it to go. You know, but that's, again, it just comes down to frame setting. If you get good at frame setting, you get good at narrative creation. Fear is of the mind, yes, but it's real, indeed. It's real if you believe it is. Fear is the language of the unknown, right? It's what people do when they want to create adversaries in their future that they haven't experienced yet. I think most guys overestimate women. True, very true. Most guys do overestimate women. Most guys, and this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's very true. Most guys really do think too highly of women. They're a very simple creature when it comes down to it. There's a lot of moving parts to them, but for the most part, they're very easy to figure out. They want validation. That's it. That's about it. That's about all you need to know. Once you understand that focal point, everything we learn and do around game becomes easy to understand. It begins to make sense. Like, oh, that's why I have to make her feel tension, because the tension will come from her feeling like she's not gaining my validation. Oh, that's why I can't indicate interest too soon in her. Because if I do indicate interest too soon in her, I give her validation too soon. And now she doesn't have a reason to chase me. Oh, that's why I have to do this or do that, or say this or say that, or make this or make that. Because it all surrounds their relationship with validation and their need to chase it relentlessly, and their ability to see you as a source of validation. I'm telling you, it's really that easy. Once you understand that, the game opens up like the flower of life. I'm telling you, it's great. It's awesome. By the way, Jace, I already answered that one, didn't I? Yo, Jace, I'm a good street guy. Grew up in the street, but now... Sorry. You grew up in the street, but know what is the limit. Being black, I still give good broke guy. Don't have money, so being myself would be great. Play with her emotions, but never show the cash. But I still understand that I should be able to take her on a date. Okay. All I know is you're broke. That's the real problem. You being a street guy doesn't matter. If anything, women they like that kind of shit. By the way, I gotta go soon, guys. They like that kind of shit. It's okay. It makes you seem more cool, more mysterious, more exciting, more dangerous. But yeah, there's no problems here. Just make sure you're using your sex appeal and the emotions you can get out of her to your advantage, and you should be fine. Quick question: what do you think of your best video is? What is my best video? Probably the laws of the game. Probably is. I have best video. I have most underrated video though. What is my most underrated video? It's quite a few. It's not just one. It's quite a few. I think any video where I talk about monogamy and polygamy is always going to be underrated, because it's not always going to be well accepted, but it needs to be said. And it's literally like why a lot of men suffer. Any video where I also talk about like the difference in self-esteem with a woman, like we were talking about originally, that's also going to be underrated, because again, something a lot of people don't want to accept or really understand. But once you understand that, you begin to realize, oh, relationships aren't supposed to be bad, or they aren't supposed to be things where I suffer. But holy shit, I'm suffering because I'm dealing with a girl that doesn't have a high self-esteem about her. So now she's making me do the work to make her feel better. You know, nurture your ego is underrated. Very, very. Any one where I talk about ego or nurturing your ego or using your dark side, very underrated. Very underrated. The magic stick story, low key. I can't call that underrated, to be honest. I can't call that underrated because it's pretty much one of my biggest videos even till this day, right? So it was very rated. I'm talking about like topics that'll get me like 2,000 or 3,000 views. That one has like 2 point something million views or whatever, you know. Let's see. My cousin and I did a challenge. Oh, my bad. Imprinting is my fave personally. I broke it down and put it into the PDF, by the way. Very good, very good. And again, very underrated. That's probably one of the most... It's like the laws of the game, the shit test guide, power projection, and imprinting. Oh, and validation 101. I would say those are like my 5 most underrated videos ever. Like ever. Those are... And my most important. My most important for sure. Those are very fucking important videos. But I feel like you won't appreciate them unless you practice game, right? To the person that's just like trying to get into game and just curious about the topic, yeah, it just sounds cool. But if you're practicing game, like if you know what it's like to have 3 girls texting you, and this girl is acting up, and these other 2 girls are giving you 2 different kinds of different problems, and you're trying to figure out how to deal with them, those videos are like fucking fresh water in the middle of a desert. You feel me? Did you hear, by the way, that we are literally writing a book in the group chat? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. That's very cool. My cousin and I did a challenge first to approach 10 girls, and if you don't punishment, we get so many. Huh? I think I know what you mean though. You punished, you held each other accountable if you didn't approach girls. That's good. That's a good way to do it. Besides stress testing, we covered those in the group chat. All right, fair enough. Let's see. I'm gonna be on the call tomorrow like a zombie. Aw, poor guy. I hear it. But hot chick rich. Oh, okay, cool. And you can get them very easily, by the way. All you have to do is, for Perfilo, by the way, you have to show them parts of yourself that they've never seen before. When you're a broke guy getting hot rich chicks, what fascinates them about you is the unique experiences you've had that they've never had to experience before. Take her ass to the hood. Take her ass to the hood. Put her in situations where she will genuinely feel uncomfortable and only lean on you for her survival and safety. Right? That's how you pull that. Let's see. Damn, it's still daytime for you. It's nighttime in Florida. Oh, fair enough. It's like 9 o'clock here, so I gotta go soon, guys. I'll probably take one more question and I gotta bounce. Talk about warm approach like college type when you might see her again. The same thing I tell you guys with the gym game. Build a reputation first. If you build a reputation first and you're a big man on campus, everything will go like super easy for you. Super, super easy. Okay, I gotta bounce, guys. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. I'll upload this to YouTube later. Please practice your game as much as possible, right? Like, really do. And I'm happy for those of you that actually are. I can tell in your questions that you're beginning to actually use these principles in your lives. Thank you so much for doing that. If you need more help, get the self-belief course. It's completely free. Get the interview like my personal dating system. Get on the phone with me, schedule a call with me. All those links are in the bio. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you later. And, it's been Jace, your favorite scientist. Do with all this information what you must.